English Grammar. Complete Grammar for All Purposes. By PRAVIN KENDALE. Voice. In a sentence there is a verb and it has a subject and may have an object. Sometimes we need to utter a sentence that shows more importance of the subject, whereas sometimes we need to utter a sentence that shows more importance of the object. Even sometimes we don't need to drop the subject. When the sentence shows that the doer, subject, of the action is important, then the sentence is said to be in active voice. It is called so because the subject is active or important. When the sentence shows that the receiver, object, of the action is important, then the sentence is said to be in passive voice. It is called so because the subject is passive or unimportant. Though the sentence may be in active voice or in passive voice, its meaning is same. Note: a sentence is said to be in passive voice if it contains at least any one of the 8 forms of to be, viz. am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, and past participle form of the verb. Otherwise it is said to be in active voice. Passive voice of a sentence is not possible if it contains be or being or been ending form of verb. A sentence is wrong if it contains more than one of the following 3 words in the same sentence: be, being, been. Since passive voice starts with a receiver, i.e. object, the active sentence must contain at least one object. An active sentence may have 2 types: objects, direct object and indirect object. A question of what to the verb gives a direct object. A question of to whom to the verb gives an indirect object. A question of who to the verb gives the subject of the verb. A sentence having no object can't have a passive voice. A sentence having 2 objects can have passive voice in 2 ways, i.e. using either object. Passive voice of following tenses is not possible: future continuous tense, present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. Verbs are of 2 types, i.e. transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Passive voice of only transitive verbs is possible. Passive voice of intransitive verb is not possible as it cannot have any object. Rules to change active voice into passive voice. Rama gives a gift to her. A. Find the main verb, subject and object in the sentence. B. Identify the tense of the sentence. C. Write the object of the sentence in place of the subject in subjective case. D. Write a helping verb as per the subject and the tense of the sentence. E. Write the main verb in third form, i.e. past participle. F. If a verb phrase has been used, then the preposition from it is used just after the verb. G. If the active sentence has 2 objects, viz. direct object and indirect object, and if the passive sentence begins with the direct object, then write to and then write the indirect object, but if the passive sentence begins with the indirect object, then write the direct object as it is. H. Write by. I. Write the subject from active voice in its objective case. J. While making passive voice of any question, it is better to first convert the question into a statement and then make its passive and then again convert it into a question. For example, Q. Why has Mohan brought this car? S. Mohan has brought this car. P. This car has been brought by Mohan. Q. Has this car been brought by Mohan? Q. Why has this car been brought by Mohan? K. In imperative sentence, when request is expressed, i.e. when the words like please or kindly has been used, the structure of the passive voice should start with you are requested to. For example, AV. Please give me some money. PV. You are requested to give me some money. L. In imperative sentence, when order or command is expressed, the structure of the passive voice should be let and object and be plus V3. For example, open the shop. Let the shop be opened. Write a letter. Let a letter be written. M. In imperative sentence, when advice is expressed, the passive structure should be as follows: object and should and be plus V3. For example, help your relatives. Your relatives should be helped. Ask him the address. The address should be asked. N passives voice of to be and infinitives. Structure. AV equals sub plus M slash is slash R slash was slash were plus infinitive. PV equals object plus M slash is slash R slash was slash were plus to be plus V3 plus by plus objective case of subject. For example, AV, he is to buy a bike. PV, a bike is to be bought by him. O passives voice of to have and infinitives. Structure. AV equals sub plus have slash has slash had plus infinitive. PV equals object plus have slash has slash had plus to be plus V3 plus by plus objective case of subject. For example, AV, he has to buy a bike. PV, a bike has to be bought by him. P passives of infinitives. AV, to V1. PV, to be V3. For example, there is no festival to celebrate. There is no festival to be celebrated. Other important passives of infinitive. For example, A equals we asked him to bring her back. P equals he was asked to bring her back. A equals I saw her help him. P equals she was seen to help him. Passive of let. For example, A equals she let him go. P equals he was let go. Using want slash like. When the sentence of want has that clause in passive voice and subject of the main clause and that clause refers to the same person, then drop that add to be and write third form of the verb. Passive structure of the sentence is want slash like and to be plus V3. For example, A equals she wants that she should be admired. P equals she wants to be admired. Q other important passives. For example, complement. A equals he made her a manager. P equals she was made a manager. Double passive. A equals Moen wrote a poem and published it. P equals a poem was written and published by Moen. Verb and preposition. A equals my friends looks after me. P equals I am looked after by my friends. Using it. When a sentence has people say slash believe slash think slash understand slash know in the beginning and then there is a that clause, then in such sentences we can use it is said slash it was said slash it was thought. For example, A equals people say that he is very handsome. P equals it is said that he is very handsome. Or P equals he is said to be very handsome. R when the verb shows the state, then in such sentences instead of using by some other preposition is used. For example, to satisfy with, to dissatisfy with, to shock at, surprise at, please with, no to interested in. For example, A equals her result shocked me. P equals I was shocked at her result. S while making passive voice of any negative sentence use not after the helping verb. For example, A equals he did not write a book. P equals a book was not written by him. T while making passive voice of the sentence with WH question use the following structure. WH word and HV and obj plus V3 plus by and obj case of the subject. For example, A equals when did you buy this mobile? P equals when was this mobile bought by you? Note, if who has been used in the active voice, then in passive voice who can be replaced by whom. You if the question is a verbal question, then the structure for the passive voice is as follow. HV and object plus B plus V3 plus by and objective case of the subject. For example, A equals must you ring me every day? P equals must I be rung every day by you? V if active voice has one, someone, somebody, people, a man, a boy, a person, etc., then in passive voice they are generally not used. In imperative sentence also by and objective case of the subject is not used. For example, A equals people speak English all over the world. P equals English is spoken all over the world.